All right, we're going live. Good morning, Carlos. We are live on Facebook and Twitter. We'll be on Instagram and Reddit and all the other places we post after this. How you doing?
Good. Yeah, we spread the love around.
Yes, no doubt. So you survived the snowstorm, my friend.
I did survive. A little cold, a lot of snow, but I survived.
Yeah. How much did you guys get?
Man, I don't know. I mean, we got at least 8 inches.
8 inches, wow.
At least.
Wow. I heard there were some highways shut down and some streets shut down and a lot of businesses shut down. And so what did you do on your, I know you were open yesterday. What did you do on your snow day?
Came into the office and played catch up. And got some paperwork done, got some emails sent out, did some follow-up, worked some deals. I mean, I got a lot accomplished. It was kind of nice because it felt like a Saturday or a Sunday for me when I could just play catch-up and, do my emails and, do stuff that I just get behind on. So it was nice. It was a nice catch-up day.
Yeah, that's good. Well, same here. We had a lot of stuff scheduled yesterday. We had some classes and stuff, so that class was canceled, and it was a good opportunity for me to follow up on some old leads, some new leads, some people currently in the pipeline. It was a great opportunity for that. So sorry about that. Turn my phone off. And I kind of got updated on my database. Everybody comes in. Every referral that comes in goes immediately into that CRM. And, once I have a connection or talk with them, I'll list and put some notes in there. And then sometimes I get a little busy and don't go back and always update the status in my CRM. So I took an opportunity to do that yesterday as well, since I had some time. And so it was good. It was good, good opportunity to really kind of get back and get organized. And, because everyone was shut down.
Yeah,
shut down. So
yeah, it was nice. I did some stuff with my CRM system too. I was kind of integrating it to where it makes so like these deals that I got going on. I want to be able to click a button that I have already in the system, and then it goes into my other system. So I was integrating that, and it was good. I got some stuff accomplished.
Good.
Still got more stuff to do, but I got some accomplished.
Yeah. Well, one of the follow-up items that, that I've been doing is we do some email campaigns and stuff like that all based on our database. And because we've got access to some different products and different programs, I started going through the database and identifying and earmarking certain prospects, like multiple property owners, for example, to build a email campaign and a marketing campaign and a reach out campaign, specifically targeting them, letting them know about some different programs and products that we have for the self-employed and for the multiple property owner. So, so that was good. Putting together a script, not really a script, I guess would be an email content. Is something that I also spent some time doing yesterday so that we can mail it out and get some responses on that. So, having a database, having a CRM, and having a tangible CRM and not just something necessarily just in our phones it's imperative, because we can do some different things, right? We have those people in one place. We can get access to them and target them with specific messages. And that's one of the things I was doing from a follow-up standpoint. The other thing that I was doing is the rates are going up right now in my business, right? They're going up. And so everybody was previously refinancing in order to lower their interest rate. Well, now that rates are going up, the one thing that people have is equity, right? because the property values are still significantly higher. So now is a great opportunity to reduce debt. Even though the rates are higher, you still can't go to a bank and get an interest rate and take out a loan for less than what you can get it out of your house. So now is an opportunity to target some of those people, who may have missed the low rate, but have an opportunity now to capitalize on some cash out to pay off some debts, to do some home improvements, right? To do some things, And so that's also some people that I'm earmarking, in my database to go after and start targeting those particular people. So it was a good chance to follow up on some initiatives that will, yield some future fruit for me too. So it was a good day.
And you send out some of those emails. Isn't that amazing on how people don't realize that if you just send out some of those emails, if you send out an email blast, everybody, if you would capture all the information and use it, you don't have all those clients that you deal with. People deal with hundreds and thousands of clients, and they don't realize how much that adds up. And then you just notify and just stay in front of those people. You'll get some action out of it. You'll get action. You'll get something out of it. But if you don't do anything with it, if you don't do anything with it, you just let it sit there and you don't send them stuff. Just stay in front of it. Just send them things. And then something will pop up. Either somebody will refer somebody will say something, or somebody might need something, or they've been talking about it. It just triggers people's thoughts.
Yeah, it does. And it's got to be, but see, the key is that we got to graduate from here, the cell phone, the number in the cell phone, into a CRM, or whether it's on paper, it doesn't matter. But we have to graduate our follow-up from our telephones as our CRM into some system, right? Something that we can then tangibly utilize. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you're right. I mean, now listen, I'm not taking away the effectiveness of the cell phone if we use it correctly, because we have the text capabilities. I've showed you text messages where I've texted them on holidays and text them, and they've responded, and it's been months. Like yesterday, I was trying to call a gal, and I had 2 of those girls in my text history. And the one that I actually ended up texting was not the one that I was trying to get a hold of. And guess what? She called me back and gave me an update as to when she's going to be ready to go. Now, I hadn't really heard from her since December, since the Christmas, New Year's, Happy New Year text messaging, right? 2 months go by. You know what? I just happened to go through me looking for someone else. So there's definitely some utilization in our phones. But if we really want to leverage it, we really want to take it to another level, we have to be disciplined to take those and put them into a CRM, or put them into some type of system where we can automate, or we can target when we decide to target with campaigns. We got to graduate. I call it graduation. We got to graduate to a little more of a professional approach.
Yeah. And you got to keep up with the, just staying in front of them. All you got to do is just keep information in front of them. It doesn't mean you have to sell them on that product, but capturing 1 or 2 deals, here and there, by you adding more and more, just like these mailing campaigns, I'm going to mail out 146,000 mailers.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get something out of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I got to get some kind of business out of it, and it's going to pay for itself. But, but even if you do emails, or if you do, thank you cards, or if you do, anything just to stay in front of people, you don't have to sell. You just have to stay in front of them.
Yeah.
Give them little tips, little information. You don't have to puke it all out on them. You just have to just stay in front of them, and little things happen. I posted something on Facebook yesterday. About the photo booth. We got a photo booth call on it right away. I mean, you know what I mean? And it's just, and it hit like 1,300 people right away. I think this morning it hit about 5,000. It was telling me about 5,000 people. But that one little post that I haven't done in a while, one little post, we got a deal off of it. $500 deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just, if you got to be consistent and consistently do it, and you'll get something out of them. And then it'll start adding up one right after another.
This article here says, this is an article that we have reviewed in the past. I thought it'd be good to kind of run through it again this morning. 6 practices that make you and your follow-up stand out. It says, follow-up has become a bit of a lost art. a lost start. And that is disappointment because following up leads into those deals, like you just mentioned. Like, it just leads into deals popping up out of nowhere just by following up, just by staying in front of our people. It deals just fall out of nowhere, right? Fall out of nowhere. So here's some tips for great follow-up that we can share this morning. The first one is the practices of the 3 Ps. And I know you do this because that's part of what your morning routine probably is practicing the 3 Ps, being prompt, proactive, and patient. Answering and following up as soon as possible, whether it's a thank you card, an introduction, whatever, but being prompt and following up and being proactive is one of the first and the easiest of those tips that are out there. So I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that particular tip, Carlos.
Yeah, being prompt. I mean, I love it. I think you and I talked about it early on. You remember when we started telling you about social media? It's just like I said to you. It's like you got to turn on your messages. You got to turn on your alerts. And you got to be prompt about it, So if somebody messaged you, the other day I got a message at, I don't know, 5:45 in the morning,
right?
And I instantly replied, and it was just like a normal conversation. I'm sure they were just messaging me just to get the message out, but I responded and we had that conversation. We got it done, Yep. And even I've gotten messages this week. It was this week about 6:00 in the morning, 6:45 in the morning. I get all kinds of messages. And if you don't follow up with them, my Facebook messages, it dings my phone. My wife is like, man, that's got to drive you nuts. No, it's so I can know, when somebody needs something, and I could be prompt to answer it. I try not to answer them in the mornings, but you gotta, if it's somebody that wants business, you gotta do it, and it's a big thing when you got, somebody messaging you on Facebook or somebody messaging you on Twitter. If you don't have all your social medias alerts, turned on, like I have it to where somebody tags me and it alerts me, just a tag.
Well, you understand, Carlos, you understand that those contacts are potential opportunities. You understand that those are potential opportunities. You understand that, you get that, right? And that is a key piece. Any comment on a post, any tag on a post, any response on the post, those are potential opportunities. You get that.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, that's your, back in the day when somebody was in front of you and say, hey, this guy is a good guy, he does great work, he does this, and you're right in front of him, and then that's your opportunity. Well, your opportunity has very well went huge, It went big, and it goes social media, and social media gets popped up every direction. Yeah. If it's somebody tagging you or somebody just comment, some other real estate agent referred me to another agent, just yesterday. And we had a long conversation. It was a great conversation, but I was tagged, and don't get me wrong, I was tagged with hundreds of other people, but I was tagged, and I gave it my opportunity. I messaged them. I also commented. I said thank you to the person that that tagged me in it. So you have to be proactive on all that stuff, and you have to be proactive with your schedule. You have to be proactive with everything that you do. I don't get me wrong. I find myself putting out more fires than I do, being proactive, but that comes with your day. When things happen, if you're behind or, somebody needs something, and then, if you're proactive and you get a deal in and some other stuff needs to get done and you're working 2 different deals, you get caught up, so you got to be proactive on your schedule. You got to be proactive on your day, with your clients. You got to be ready for, you got to be ready for people to get going, that they want something. If they want something, they want something now. I've had people that are like, hey, I needed this yesterday. and you got to deal with that stuff,
And sometimes that's the difference in getting the business versus not.
Right. Yep. And there's a lot of people that miss out. That's why I told you early on. I mean, years ago, it was just like, you got to get on social media because those are just an extra. How many more deals have you got since you've been on social media?
Man,
how many more deals
I think I get at least a deal a month from social media. At least one deal.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it's just like, told me that, I wouldn't have believed you. If you'd have told me that, I wouldn't have believed you.
Right. And you get more things you got to turn on your messages. Now you're on multiple platforms. So now you have multiple platforms to turn on your notifications. It gets to be a lot, but you got to be there and you got to be ready. You got to be prompt. You got to be ready to go and ready to respond.
Yep. So next one here is start and engage in meaningful conversations. The biggest thing, of course, would be the authenticity and the give first mentality, which, we're big on. Like the give first mentality shows that we care about others and that we will lead them to caring about us. Right. What is it that you always say about the like, trust, believe? What is it? What's your comment, Carlos?
If they like you, trust you, and believe in you, they'll buy from you.
There you go. Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
And that's the biggest thing, and that's what I've learned in the years of sales. I keep telling these, and Eric is learning a ton. I see he keeps reminding me. He's like, "This is working. This is awesome," because he's learning that you don't have to sell yourself. You don't have to puke your stuff out. You don't have to just sell and get them to buy it. It drives me nuts when people start selling and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. That shows me that you don't care about me. You just care about the sale, and they don't take the time to find out about me. They don't take the time to find out what I need or what I want or where I'm at, or what kind of situation I'm in, and if you don't take that time to learn who you're dealing with, what kind of person you're dealing with, then you're going to struggle in that relationship. You're going to struggle in that deal, because if you don't build up a relationship, if they don't learn who you are, and if they don't like you and they don't trust you, then you're going to struggle. You have to build up that relationship with people.
And the key is, the next one we were talking about here is, engaging in meaningful conversations, but, it deals with the authenticity. It's kind of like I would say I don't like to start a conversation like people that are doing a multi-level marketing start them, right? Like I know immediately when someone's hit me up for multi-level marketing. I've been hit up so much, I know. And I'm not saying anything against multi-level marketing. I'm saying it didn't seem authentic, right? It just didn't seem like they genuinely cared about me. And so that made it hard for me to really buy in, right? Because they were starting a conversation with a purpose and a project intent, and that's not necessary. Like you said, it's not necessary. It's like, hey, I just want to get to know you, a little bit about you. And I don't really care that, whether you buy my product or service or not. I'm interested in building relationships. I'm interested in building relationships. And that's the authenticity that we're talking about and the meaningful conversations. Patty talks about early mornings can be the best conversations, and she's right. Right? Some of the best conversations we have are those early in the morning, right? Our energy level's right, our level of authenticity is right. But yeah, meaningful conversation. So I dropped in the comments 7 easy and improved icebreakers for starting a conversation. So there's actually an article, and I'll drop the link in the comments as well. 7 conversation starters better than what do you do, and the 7 that are even worse. And it talks about, some of them are like, hey, do you have any trips coming up? Are you watching, this show? Any great recommendations for birthday dinners? Any good ideas for books, right? These are all great ways to start conversations, to build relationships with someone, to get to know them, to get to know about them, and my guy, Rick Ruby from the core always says, take the model of Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams. Get to know those things. Get to know Ford about a person, and that's how you start building a relationship with someone.
I don't even I seriously have that's all I do. Even no matter what I do, I just find that's exactly what I do, is by finding out what they like, what they do. Having if my day, whatever I'm doing in the day or what I've done in the week, whatever I've been doing, I work on, or what's been going on in my life, what shows you've been watching. That's the conversations that I have with these people, because I want to learn who they are. It's better for them to learn who they are, what they like. Maybe you guys have the baseball thing, just like you remember your guy that you met that you guys had baseball in common.
Yeah, my guy down in Texas.
Yeah, it's just, maybe you got things in common. Maybe and you build that trust, and that learn who they are, and you learn how it makes a sale, and it makes your transaction so much easier when you know how they are, or what they need, or what they do, or what they like, or just who they are, and because you can cater to what they need.
Yeah. Well, and that goes back to what you said earlier, your statement that you always say, and I'll put it on the screen. That's how they
like you, trust you, and believe in you, they'll buy from you. That's right. And I don't ever expect anybody to buy anything from me instantly. There's some people that have done deals, and it's kind of shocked me a little bit. But some people have done deals with somebody else instead of me. But then they learn. I give them that opportunity, because if they have problems in the future, or if something doesn't go right, then they come to me. If they feel that they need to go that direction, so be it. But if they run into issues, or if they run into customer service problems, or they usually come crawling back, or they usually ask, or they're usually hey, I've had this problems. I've had people that have printed shirts with me, and then I wasn't able to get them done in their time frame, and so they went elsewhere. But then and they came back, because they weren't getting the customer service. They realized that they asked too much of me,
Yep.
and they come back.
Well, they come back because they appreciate the extra effort, the experience. They appreciate the authenticity. They appreciate, the things that you do that are really intangibles. You can't really put a finger on them, but those are the things that make a difference. That's why they come back. That's why they
going
going
over and beyond. I tell my people here, it's like when we're selling passport pictures, it's just a simple passport pictures. Instead of, we ask them, hey, are you guys renewing, or are you going on a trip? Just to strike up a conversation. It's just a great way to develop relationships around here.
Yeah. Well, in that article right there, customers appreciate the extra effort put into the experience that your customers have. Take the knowledge you have of your customers and think about that specific situation. They appreciate that extra effort. That makes a difference. It's a small thing, but it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference. Number 4, demonstrate mindfulness and gratitude. Same thing, right? Same thing we just talked about. We've been talking about, being mindful of the person, understanding and knowing, and then also being mindful. Like you just asked about their passport. Are you renewing, or are you getting a brand new one? Like most situations, what I've done and got my passport, it's been fill out this form, let me stamp it, go take, it's like, it's been like just a job. Like no one stopped and asked, ask that question, or said, where are you going? You got any plans to go anywhere? No one ever has ever done that.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's what we do, is we just try to develop that relationship. So then that way they enjoy coming here, just even here in the store. It's a retail store. People come and go every day, but we want to develop those relationships with people, that way we have clients that come in here. We had one person that came in here and was just like, man, those prices are high and this and that, and complaining. And then the next person that walks in says, best shipping center in the city, and they absolutely love it, so it's and those are the people that have been with us, and those are the people that keep coming back, and those are the people that realize who we are, and those are the people that we have time to develop relationships with.
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and we enjoy that. I want that because I want them to know where they're coming to, or that I want them to feel comfortable coming here.
Yeah. Yeah. And this next one is interesting, Carlos. It says, let go and move on. Be selective, strategic, and persistent. Respect people's time, but know when it's time to step away and move on. I remember, I remember this guy when I first started in this business. I remember this guy and came into training, and he said, not everyone's going to be your ideal customer or situation. You're not going to be able to solve every problem, right? You're just not going to be able to do that. And in my mind, it was like, no, I can solve every problem. You know what I mean? I can fix any problem that comes before me. And what I also recognized is that years later, after trying and failing miserably to do that, what I also recognize is that I was robbing others of the opportunity who really probably appreciated it or wanted it, or I'm more closely aligned with. I was robbing those others, those future prospects. I was robbing the other people with the opportunity to follow up. I was robbing them by trying to do too much, right? Trying to misalign myself with the wrong person or the wrong situation. So I learned that lesson, and that was it took a couple of years before it kind of really resonated with me.
Yeah, it's that saying, how do we just started trying to use it here, and I'm like, and I'm like, I was one of those people that you try to make everybody happy, and I try my best, but there's some that, there's a couple people that we're trying to learn. I am trying to learn. I just don't think that I'm going to be a good fit for you, or I don't think I'm going to be able to get the work done for you. I don't think that, it's going to work out between us, or I don't think that I'm going to be able to get what you need.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just got to do it, and it's hard for me.
I had, and this says not everyone is in it for the right reasons or make it happen. Define and refine who is worth your time, energy, attention, and focus on them, right? No excuses for not keeping in touch and following up, right? There's no excuses. Like if it doesn't work, if it's not a good fit, just identify it and move on. And there's some customers that I've referred over to, some different lenders, Bianca and Taffy, right? Better fit for, for the match. And it worked out better for the customer. It worked out better for for everybody involved. But yeah, I mean, absolutely, we have to, as it says, we have to define and refine who's worth our time, because our time is expensive. And again, what I realized after many years of failing, what my guy was trying to say is that don't rob the next person or the other people who truly value and that you identify with. Don't rob them of the opportunity by spending too much time, on a person or a situation, which is just not doable.
Hey, let me give you I've even gone as far as doing a whole entire job, and it was a big job. I've done the whole job, and then they get, and we told them up front. My wife told them the pricing up front. And then when it comes down to it, they got the bill and they were just like, this just doesn't seem right. Is this the same material as, we got a quote from this guy, and is it the same thickness and the same? And I'm like, I'm in the middle of it. I'm like, look, I can take what I've done down and just undo it. And then you guys can go elsewhere if you feel that our quality isn't there. I said, I guarantee you that my quality, I use everything that I use in my products, I use high quality, and I have reasonable prices. I said, I make sure that my stuff is nice. I don't use the cheap stuff. I don't use the halfway stuff. I don't have levels of my pricing, So I tried to explain it to them, and I was like, I'm okay with undoing what I've done, and you guys can go elsewhere. I don't care. I mean, it won't offend me whatsoever. And then they realize, well, it's like, then they may, talked about it, and it's like, well, yeah, I guess it wasn't, the square footage was a little off. Like didn't get this. They didn't give me a quote for the full square footage. I said, well, so our pricing our pricing is less than what theirs was.
Right.
So it's tough. You got to do it, but they realize, what you do for them if you explain it, and or what quality you do. You got to make sure that the quality is there. You got to stand behind your prices. I tell Eric, I'm like, look, there's absolutely nothing you have to stand 100% behind your price as long as it's a reasonable price. You got to stand behind what you're doing, and if it's if the people don't agree with you or they don't like it, then it's not for you guys, then you just got to let it go.
Yep, I agree completely. I agree. So number 6, remember to hear. We got an acronym. HERE stands for, practicing humility, engage people, be authentic, and respond whenever possible. And that's a real simple, easy mnemonic as far as I'm concerned, right? I mean, humility and being humble and understanding that we're here to serve. I mean, really, the objective is to help other people. And if our intentions are authentic, if our intentions are genuine, then we will practice humility, right? I'm not trying, like you mentioned, you're not trying to sell. There's no need to sell anyone. It's like, how can I help you? Like, how can I serve you, right?
Exactly,
by helping others, we naturally will end up helping ourselves, but that's not the reason and the purpose we do it. We do it because that's our purpose, to help other people. And so humility and engaging and being authentic and then responding whenever possible. Like, up here, I skipped over it. It said, like, there is no excuse for not keeping in touch and following up today. Email, social media, video, texting, podcasting, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, even the mail are all excellent tools and platforms to use to connect. But I love this. There's no excuse for not keeping in touch and following up. None whatsoever.
Yep. I try to keep in touch with everybody on a regular basis. There's still a couple of clients of mine that I'd love to, when you got thousands of people, that's tough, but that's where you get your email marketing, or you get, text marketing, or whatever you're going to do, social media, get them on social media. I'm trying to get more people on social media because that's where I post a lot of my stuff to stay in front of them,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's absolutely no excuse to keep in front of these people. There's some people that I need to reach out to. But there's some old clients that I talk to on a regular basis. I've talked to them 3 or 4 times this week,
Yeah.
and it's just, we're talking about cars too, he bought a new Tesla, and I was intrigued about it, so it's just a client that I developed a relationship with, and there's absolutely no reason that you can't try to stay in front of everybody. I know it's tough. I know it's a lot when you get a big amount of people, it's tough for me for all these Melon Copy people, I got 1,000 people in the database, so it's tough.
Yeah. But even if we take the simple approach of, it might take me 2 months to touch or connect or get in front of my whole database. So what if it takes 2 months or 3 months? What else do we have to do?
You could do it in 4 times a year. You should be able to touch your database.
So that means every 3 months.
Every quarter.
We need to take every 3 months to do it.
Every 3 months. If you start from the very beginning and you go every 3 months, it'll take you 3 months. You should be able to hit everybody.
Yeah.
But you got to figure out a way to do it, and to do it, just to stay in front of them. When we say stay in front of it could be, hi, how you doing? Or it could be I have this special going on, or a little tip, or, reaching out, making sure you're doing great. Let us know if you need any help, if you have any questions. I had a client the other day called me and asked me about life insurance. And she's like, I'm sorry, my parents don't know a whole lot about it, and I figured I could reach out to you. And I'm like, you can ask me any questions anytime. I'm here. They text me, I'm like, I'm here for you. So, they asked about life insurance, and I sent them, here, call this person or call this attorney or get this, and I refer them, and and they apologized for reaching out to me about life insurance, but I'm like, hey, I'm here for you anytime.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, that's all that matters, right? Is if they need something and we don't do that, then guess what? We have a great opportunity to refer to someone who does, and continue the relationship with that other person. Because that's all that matters, right? We're here to provide a service, and as long as we can help someone, that's all that matters. So
I love this bottom part. It says, now do some outrageous networking.
Yeah.
Follow up and watch what happens.
Yeah.
I was telling Eric, Eric's learning sales and all, he was in more of a labor part before, and now he's getting into sales. And he's like, man, we got to get networking. And I told him, I'm like, there's a lot of relationships, that I still have to get, it makes it so much easier. I told him, I'm like, man, there's a ton of relationships that I got to do. I got to do a lot more networking because I got to meet a lot more people and I got to develop a lot more relationships. And it's a big thing for me because I need that in my life right now because of the things that are going on that I have to do, like in real estate, it's so tough, but I'm trying to get ahead of the real estate, because there's so many offers that are going out there. It's so tough to be in real estate right now, and so I'm trying to get ahead of it to where I can find houses for people, in a different way, and I need those relationships because I need them. I need more people. I need more people in my life.
Yeah.
So
there's a link in this article that talks about outrageous follow-up. Outrageous. It's called the top 5 most outrageous concierge requests. And so I will. It's in Forbes, right? So I'll drop that in the comments. And one of the things that it talks about is how they create walks of fame and sweet 16s and private festivals and a dinner party, like just different things that they do to follow up with their VIP clients, right? Just different things that they do. And one of the things that we're trying to do, this year for our realtor partners is create cool events like continuing education, like discovery nights, like wine and dine, like video and photography and bowling and top golf. Like those are things that we've done and attended certain things, but this year in 2022 we're trying to create some really unique and cool events to just come out and hang out and network. And we don't really want any business. We just want to network,
have fun,
and build a relationship with the industry. Yeah,
learn who they are, have fun.
Yep. And because my attitude is this, and I heard this from Rick Ruby in my coaching, I got in the business. In Kansas City, as in any market, it's a small world. So eventually you're going to run into someone if you're in the same field. Why not know them, have a relationship with them? How much easier would it be? And so that's what we want to do. We just want to create some good events.
Yeah, I just can't. I still have it in my mind. I did a little seminar for some people, and I got some questions while I was standing up there, and it still blows my mind because of what you said. These people are like, why would I want to develop? I did it with realtors, right? And they're like, why would I want to develop relationships with other realtors? They're my competitors. Why would I want to do that? That's exact words that they came out of my mouth. And there was multiple people that were doing it. And I'm like, you want that relationship with those people in your same industry.
Yes.
My printer went kapoo the other day, and I needed another printer to print my stuff.
Right.
So I called him up and I'm like, hey, can you print this for me? And he got it knocked out for me real quick, because I know him. I developed relationships with him. He's in the same business with me. He even asked me, he's like, what happened to the printer? And I said, it went kapoo, and so it's that relationships that you want with the same people that you're in the same business with, because you never know when you can need them.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. You got it. All right, my man. Listen, let's wrap this sucker up. These are 6 practices that make you and your follow-up stand out. You know, thank you notes are a thing of the past, but boy, the few people that do them get great results. So I will leave it on that one because, you know, we are often quick to text. Thank you is great. Email is great. But boy, a handwritten note, there's nothing like it. Nothing like it. So I'll leave it at that. But follow up it's all about that, man. Have a great Friday. Any last minute comments, my friend, from you?
No, just keep the hustle going. Just keep it going. Develop those relationships.
That's it. And remember, like I love it. I'm just so glad I ran across it. My last parting comment is, if they like you, trust you, and believe in you, Carlos says they will buy from you. And it's not buying. It's not buying. It's choosing to have a relationship with you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right, my man. Good talking with you. We'll see you. Have a good weekend. Stay warm.
Yeah, no kidding. It'll get warm up.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you.